Welcome everyone to the Sunday Staff Debrief, where every week we chat about various diving topics. I'm your host Nicole, and as always, joined by our panel, Juicy and Rich. And this week, our special guest is Beth Ferguson. Beth just finished her instructor examination last month and is currently doing her Master Scuba Diver training program here at UDC. Beth is here to give us her first-hand experience with doing the PADI Instructor Examinations. Welcome, Beth.
Hi, thank you so much.
Please tell us a bit about yourself.
So like you said, my name is Beth. I am originally from Scotland. I started diving when I was about 10. My parents both were divers, so I was really inspired by them to travel and get into the water, explore the underwater world. So for my 10th birthday, my present was a Discover Scuba Diving experience, and it was amazing. I loved every second of it, and from there it just sort of spiraled into eventually ending up here. It actually also sort of encouraged my degree as well. I actually studied marine biology at university, which I loved. I loved every second of it. We did some amazing field trips. I got to do some diving. I got to do some free diving as well with my thesis, which I really, really enjoyed. And very, very shortly after graduating, unfortunately, COVID hit. So my dreams of sort of doing tropical marine biology and specialising in that became very quickly getting a job in the UK and saving, doing what everyone else was doing, staying inside. So I got a job at the bank. I was very, very grateful for it. It paid the bills, but it wasn't the thing I was extremely passionate about. I wanted to be outside. I wanted to be diving, which none of us could do. So after 2.5 years of working from home, not seeing a lot of people and not getting outside very much, I decided to quit that job and to rent my house out. I was very, very lucky during COVID. I managed to buy a property, so I rented it out and came to Utila to start my IDC and become a scuba diving instructor.
Wow, incredible. And why did you choose Utila? How did you even hear about it?
Yeah, so I'd heard a lot about UDC sort of through the grapevine, even all the way to Scotland. It made it there. And the thing that sort of sealed the deal for myself was I actually went on a liveaboard to the Red Sea right at the end of 2021. And there were two divers on the liveaboard, a really lovely couple that we got on with very, very well. And they were both instructors, so we asked them where they did their IDC. And they said UDC, and we'd heard a bit about it, but these were the first people we'd really, really gotten on with. And I not only got on with them personally, I really liked them as divers. They were incredibly professional. They were just very, very good divers. And I thought, well, if they've done their IDC somewhere like Utila Dive Centre, then it's going to be somewhere that I'm going to enjoy. So that's when we got in contact with you guys probably about 6 months before we arrived, and started inquiring, and we ended up here, and I wouldn't have changed it for the world. Definitely made the right decision there.
Really cool. I've noticed you keep saying we. Can you elaborate on that?
Yeah, of course. So my partner Elliot is actually here as well, and he was on the IDC and completed his IE the same time as I did, so we were on it together. We've known each other for almost 4 years now, and we came together from Scotland here. So we're completing it together.
Oh, that's so cute. And so tell us about your experience with the IE in general.
Yeah, of course. So the actual exam, even though we probably didn't believe these guys when they told us, was a lot less stressful than we all thought it was going to be. I think we all got ourselves into a little bit of a stress head situation before, and they were absolutely right when they said you have nothing to be stressed about. Here at UDC, my main worry before I came was that I wasn't going to be ready to complete the instructor exam, and I maybe didn't have enough experience, or I wasn't going to be an effective dive instructor. And I think it was probably about day 3 of being with Juicy and Rich that I was like, okay, yep, no, I'm gonna be all right. And I know that the other guys there was 10 on our course, right? Yeah. the other 10 candidates felt the exact same. They do such an amazing job here of preparing you and making you feel more than ready. So whilst we were all very stressed about the IE, we actually had absolutely no reason to be, because we'd been prepared so well.
So obviously, Rich and Juicy, you've both been through an IE. Rich, you did your IE outside of Utila. Can you tell us about your experience?
Yeah, I did it in New Zealand, and it's very different than Utila. The water temperature is a little bit different, if we're honest, but also the structure is different. The IE is the same. It's the biggest thing about becoming a PADI instructor, in that it's a standardized exam across the world. We're all trained in the same way and examined in the same way. It has that level of objectivity that the whole system is built on. That's ideal. But the way mine was run was very different. These guys here get their assignments the night before at their orientation, and then they have the whole evening to prepare together, and they work as a team. And that's one of the biggest things about doing an IDC here with us, is that we have nice healthy classes, and the more people you have in that class, the more people you have to support, and you see more presentations and things like that. I didn't have that opportunity. I was given my assignments half an hour before we were due to start, so it was a bit more stressful for me when I did mine. But as Beth has already said, that most IDCs prepare you so well for the IE itself that when you actually land in the IE, you just feel like you're prepared, and everything coming at you just sort of washes over you. You go back to your training, and most people get through it with very little stress level.
And Juicy, you did your IE here at UDC. How was that experience for you?
It was quite interesting. It was about 13 years ago, a little over 13 years ago now that I did my IE here. And I remember being quite stressed, just like the candidates I see nowadays. It's difficult to be examined, right? No one wants to be critiqued and looked at and judged. So it's normal to be stressed and feel a little worked up. You spend a lot of time, you spend a lot of money, you put a lot of effort into the IDC. So the IE afterwards is generally a fairly stressful experience. And as Beth mentioned earlier, Rich and I and Nicole as course directors, we try to alleviate that stress by telling them what the IE is going to be like. And I wouldn't say they don't believe us. It's just hard to believe the things we say and think, no, it's going to be stressful, it's going to be stressful. So they work themselves up in general, and I am certainly guilty of that. I actually have a funny story where on my open water presentation, I did the wrong skill. I was assigned fin pivot with using the low pressure inflator button, and I did the oral inflation method. I briefed it, I caught the problems, I debriefed it, and so the examiner, the PADI examiner, Mario, he gave me a 2 for organization, so I still got a 4.4 on my presentation, a 2 for control and delivery. And when I finished my skill, he said, "Do you have your assignment sheet?" I think you did the wrong skill, and my heart just sinks to the floor, and I thought I just failed the IE because I couldn't read. I said, "I live across the street, I'll go get the sheet," and I was very confident when I said that, and as I got each step closer to my house, I got less confident about what the sheet was going to say, and I opened it up and looked, and it said LPI, and I was like, no! I came back over, got back on the boat, and I didn't fail because of it, because again, I briefed it, debriefed it, caught the problems. And I remember Mario, he only came for that IDC, and then of course I was employed at UDC immediately after my IDC and IE, and worked here for several years. And I remember Mario, the first time he came back was like 2 years later, and I went up to him and I said, "I just want you to know that you didn't make a bad decision by giving me that 2 and not failing me, because now I work at UDC as a DM mentor." And it just goes to show that the stress builds up and you get a little bit nervous, and to the point where you make silly mistakes like doing the wrong skill, not reading your assignment sheet.
Absolutely, it happens.
Yeah, right.
What do we do?
You did your IE, obviously, as an instructor. What was your experience like?
So yeah, I did mine in South Florida, actually. I lived in Miami for quite a while and was working as a dive master at a shop in Miami, and they wanted me to become an instructor. And so over the course of a few months, I did my IDC. Mine was very more on an individual basis. I wasn't part of a team. Like, it's very team oriented here at UDC. So I was pretty much flying solo, other than just having my course director. But the IE itself, I actually had to drive about an hour away to the IE because I lived in Miami and the IE was in Fort Lauderdale area. And so I remember driving to the IE that morning and just being so nervous. And the one thing I remember the most is just like blasting the music, and as I'm like driving, just jamming out in my car and then repeating answers over and over in my head as I'm driving to the IE. So yeah, it was a different experience.
So you've mentioned several times that you were nervous. I think we've all mentioned the same thing. It's quite natural. So when you actually started, what is it that alleviated those nerves? How did you get over them and start getting into the real work of the IE?
Yeah, of course. So we had an orientation the night before where we met our examiners, and they gave us like a little layout of how the 2 days were going to run. And it was pretty much the moment they started talking and you realized that they were lovely people who were there to support you and there to make you feel comfortable so you could show off yourself and your skills and what you can do, and not there to, you know, penalize you or make you feel like you weren't doing a good enough job. So the two instructors we had were amazing. Two examiners we had were amazing, and they made us feel so at ease. They were so warm and approachable that the nerves basically melted away instantly.
Yeah, I think that's their superpower, to be honest, is they can take a room of very nervous people and instantly cut the tension and make everybody straight at ease. The examiners, they come down, we know them personally, we work with them on a monthly basis, and that is 100% the best thing that they can do, is they just take you guys and relax you out, and then all of a sudden it's a much easier ride for all of you.
Yeah, definitely. I didn't think it would be so personal during the examination. You know, I thought it would be very, unless you were doing a skill or a briefing, it was, you know, silence, and it was, you were paying attention. But there was, you know, he was asking about ourselves, and he was saying comments about how well we worked as a group, and there were laughs and jokes, and it was obviously you're going to be professional throughout, but it was a much more relaxed vibe than I think we didn't listen to either of you when you were telling us that. But you were definitely right. It's nothing to be nervous about. And, you know, there's an IE. Some of my friends are doing their IE at the moment, and I tried to sort of say the same, and I could see their eyes. They were going, yeah, no, you're talking rubbish. I was thinking, no, there's genuinely nothing to be nervous about.
And Juicy, you understand the importance of a team environment within the IDC and the IE. How do you foster that?
Yeah, I from the very first day, we try to instill in everyone the idea that they're working together. They're not there individually. It's what's called a developmental course. If they didn't need each other, then they would just go right to the IE. So our job as course directors is to instill in them the idea that they're a team, they're there to work together as a team, and not just for the IDC and the IE, but beyond that, they're going to have a network of people that is their first kind of peers within the dive industry. You've got peers from your dive master course, of course, but they're going to have a bond with these people for probably the rest of their lives, going through this course where you were a little bit stressed, you worked hard, you spent a lot of time together. And I know certainly for my course, I was on an IDC of 12 people, and at least 9 or 10 of them I still keep in touch with to this day. There's several of us still working in the dive industry. And so I know the importance of that teamwork aspect, and I always drive home the point that you're not just here to work for yourself or do your own presentations. When it comes to the presentations, you need to be a good instructor when it's your turn. You need to be a good assistant if you're the assistant, and you need to be a good student. And all that comes together in the IE, culminates in everyone, you know, coming back at the end of the IE being like, wow, I got all 5s, or I got 4.9 and 5.0 in these really high marks. And it's because if you pay attention to what other people are doing and you care about each other, then the team is going to be more successful than the individual. And so that's something we work really hard. And it also comes down to using words to describe people. We don't say you, we say the team. We don't describe things in a way that points out individuals. We use terminology that accentuates that team aspect as well, and that goes a long way for that.
Rich, what steps do you all take to help with job placement in the industry?
Yeah, so it's one of the things that we're most proud of here at UDC. We have a great track record of producing instructors, but the thing we're most proud of is helping them with their careers once they leave us. For instance, Beth has begun interviewing for jobs around the world that are one of the contacts we have here. Between myself, Juicy and Nico, there's not many places in the world we haven't dived and taught and lived and have friends around the world, and we have a great track record of helping people place them into jobs all over the place. So that's generally how we try to help people to move their careers forward.
And Beth, do you have any advice for anyone out there who's looking to become an instructor?
Yeah, I would definitely say to them, enjoy the IDC. Don't let the stress take over, because it's such an amazing experience. Looking back, there were so many incredible moments. I wish I'd just taken the time to enjoy it more than stress. So take the time, enjoy it, realize where you are and what you're doing, and don't worry about the exam, because listen to your course directors, because they're usually right.
That's great advice. Thank you so much. Thank you everyone for joining this week's episode of the Sunday Staff Debrief. Thank you as always to our panel, and thank you to our special guest, Beth. And make sure you join us next week for another really interesting topic. Please help us grow our channel by
Liking the video.
Subscribe to the channel.
And leave a comment below.
See you all next week.
Oh my God, oh my God,